Bonjour, je m'appelle Roselyne Adams. Je suis heureuse de vous avoir en classe. Je suis votre professeur de français. S'il vous plaît, abonnez ma chaîne. Welcome back to class, everyone. I'm so glad to have you all back in class. Please, if you are here to subscribe to my channel, please don't just watch. Kindly click on the subscribe button below and also the notification bell to know when I post new videos. Yeah, today we'll be treating a very important topic that seems to always pose a problem for beginners or learners of French language, and that is the use of vous and tu. The use of vous and tu. In what situation are you supposed to use vous, and when are you supposed to use tu? Before I dive into the topic proper, it's important to know that vous is employed or used in formal settings, in formal contexts, and it's also used, for plurality. For example, you're addressing a group of people, since vous and tu means you. If you're addressing a group of people, you don't use tu, you use vous. So vous depicts formality and plurality, while tu is used in informal context, and when you are addressing just one person, you use tu. Okay, so in what are the situations where you use vous and tu? So I'll be starting with vous. When are you supposed to use vous? Number one, among professionals. For example, among colleagues in the office, you use vous. I'm meeting my colleague in the morning and I want to say, how are you? Bonjour, Monsieur Pierre. Comment allez-vous? I cannot say comment vas-tu. Or I want to tell my boss in the office, how you are kind, sir. Monsieur, vous êtes gentil. I cannot say tu es gentil to my boss. So in formal settings, in the office, among colleagues, to your boss, you use vous. Between a clerk and his customer, you use vous. You are addressing your customer, you are ordering for one service or the other, you use vous, irrespective of the person you are addressing, irrespective of the person you are asking for service from. You use vous. You went to a supermarket, you want to buy something, the person you met there, you are supposed to vouvoyer the person. You use vous for the person. There's one thing the French does not joke with, and that is courtesy and politeness. So when you mix this up, there's always a misunderstanding. So you are supposed to know context where you are to apply vous and then when to use tu. So among professionals, you are addressing your teacher, your professor, you use vous for him. Older people, you use vous. Number two, another situation where you use vous is when you are meeting up with somebody for the first time, to a stranger. Someone met you on the road and you want to discuss, you are greeting the person, you use vous. Bonjour monsieur, comment allez-vous? How are you? S'il vous plaît, not s'il te plaît, please. You want to ask for a service from a stranger, you use vous for the person. So those are the situations where you use vous. There are a lot of them, and as I remember, I'll be outlining them. Let's go to tu. Tu is used amongst families and friends, because tu is used in familiar situations, familiar context. So families and friends are people you are familiar with, and you are allowed to use tu for them. You are addressing your friends, your sisters, your brother, your uncle. You use tu, except in situations where the person is older and it's not otherwise stated that you can use tu for me. You use vous for the person. For children, you use tu. Even children among themselves, they use tu. And specifically for children below 18 years, you are allowed to use tu for the person. And lastly, on the usage of tu, you use tu for God. For example, if you are reading the Quran, I don't know of the Quran, but I'm sure of the Bible, when you're addressing God, you use tu. For example, if you want to say you are my God, you say tu es mon Dieu. You use tu. In Africa here, we use the language of respect for God. But in French, you use tu for God. And so those are the situations where you employ tu and vous. Before I end the lesson. It's important to know that in situations where you are confused as to what to use, whether VOUS or TOU, you are meeting someone, you don't know if it's to use TOU for the person or to use VOUS for the person, it's advisable to just use VOUS. And when as time goes on, if otherwise stated, you can now use TOU. So I hope you have been able to grab 1 or 2 points from my explanation of the usage of VOUS and TOU on today's lesson. Please go over the lesson again for clarification. And this is me saying au revoir. Bye.